For 17.4, we have the idea of a map, a multi-map, and an unordered map. Now, this starts on page 1055 and goes down for a good long ways because, again, of the wealth of tables that we're using. Like I mentioned way back in the 17.2 video, which seems like a million years ago now, the idea of a map is that we have a key and we have a value. The idea of a map is that these keys go in ascending order: 101, 102, 103, 104. So the key 101 corresponds to a value, Chris Jones. The key 103 corresponds to a value, Amanda Stevens. And the keys in a map cannot be repeated, so they are unique. So that is the idea here of a map. So you can see where this would be of use. Your student number would be like a key, and that would map to a name. So we could use this to create essentially a linked list that we could use to get data, that we could use to keep going through, for example, all of our students. We would have a map that would give us a key, and that key would be a unique identifier for you as a student. It's very handy when we're working with data. Now, the idea of an unordered map is that these keys can be in any order, again, so long as they do not repeat. So instead of 101, 102, 103, we can go 101, 103, 104, 102, and hence the word unordered. A multi-map, on the other hand, says that our keys can be repeated and can map to different values. So let's say, for example, an instructor teaches more than one class. So my key could be 101, and that would map to CIS277, that would map to CIS240, that would map to CIS276, that would map to so on and so forth. So this way, we have a little bit more flexibility with the multi-map, just depending on what it is that we are looking to do. So if you think about things like salespeople, we could have multiple regions that all belong to one salesperson. So our salesperson would essentially be the key, right? So that would be their account number or their employee number, and the values that those would map to would be, whatever. This is the Nebraska region, this is the Illinois region, this is the Minnesota region, so on and so forth. So that's the basic structure there. We work with pairs. Now, here at 17-10, this is the massive table of member functions that we have for the map. You can see, because it's a container, because it's an associative container like we've been working with, the member functions here largely are the same. The one thing I did want to point out to you here on 1059, we have the idea of the pair. So the pair is our key to our value, and the way we do that is with make pair. So employees.insert, and then we have our mapped pair. A 110 maps to Beth Young. So make pair, and then inside of our parens are the key and the value. So that wrinkle there, that make pair idea, is the one you're going to want to remember. That's the first most basic way that you are going to interact with the idea here of a map. Just as a thought exercise before we scroll down to find it, can we use a class as one of the components here in a map? Yeah, absolutely we can. We can either use the class as the key or as the value. The most often that you are going to use it is on, the right-hand side there as the value. So the map, the multi-map, and the unordered map are really neat in that they automatically create these data pairs logistically for you that you can use as a business function inside of your code.